بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وبه نستعين الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين.
In the name of Allah, the Merciful, the Compassionate, and from Him do we seek help. All praise be to Allah, the Sustainer of all the worlds, and blessings and peace be upon our Master Muhammad, and on all his family and companions. 9th Truth, the gate of Allah's bestowal of life and death, the manifestation of the names of eternally living and self-subsistent, and giver of life and giver of death. Is it at all possible that the one who gives life to this vast, dead and dry earth, who in so doing demonstrates his power by deploying more than 300,000 different forms of creation, each of them as remarkable as man, who further demonstrates in this deployment his all-embracing knowledge by the infinite distinctions and differentiations he makes in the complex intermingling of all those forms, who directs the gaze of all his slaves to everlasting bliss by promising them resurrection in all of his heavenly decrees, who demonstrates the splendour of his dominicality by causing all of his creation to collaborate with one another, to revolve within the circle of his command and his will, to aid one another and be submitted to him, who shows the importance he has given to man by creating him as the most comprehensive, the most precious and delicate, the most valued and valuable fruit on the tree of creation, by addressing him without intermediary and subjugating all things to him. Is it at all possible that so compassionate and powerful a one, so wise and all-knowing a one, should not bring about resurrection, should not gather his creatures together or be unable to do so, should not restore man to life or be unable to do so, should not be able to inaugurate his supreme court, should not be able to create heaven and hell? Nay, indeed, by no means is any of this possible. Indeed, the Almighty Disposer of this world's affairs creates in every century, every year, and every day, on the narrow and transient face of the globe, numerous signs, examples, and indications of the supreme gathering and the plane of resurrection. Thus, in the gathering that takes place every spring, we see that in the course of 5 or 6 days, more than 300,000 different kinds of animal and plant are first gathered together and then dispersed. The roots of all the trees and plants, as well as some animals, are revived and restored exactly as they were. The other animals are recreated in a form so similar as to be almost identical. The seeds which appear in their outward form to be so close to each other, nonetheless, in the course of 6 days or 6 weeks, become distinct and differentiated from each other, and then, with extreme speed, ease and facility, are brought to life in the utmost order and equilibrium. Is it at all possible that for one who does all of this, anything should be difficult? That he should be unable to create the heavens and the earth in 6 days? That he should be unable to resurrect men with a single blast? No, by no means is it possible. Let us suppose there were to be some gifted writer who could write out in a single hour the confused and obliterated letters of 300,000 books on a single sheet without any error, omission or defect, complete and in the best form. If someone were then to say to you that that writer could write out again from memory a book written by him that had fallen into water and become obliterated, would you then say that he is unable? And would you not believe in his ability? Or think of some talented king who, in order to demonstrate his power, or for the sake of providing a warning example, removes whole mountains with a single command, turns his realm upside down, and transforms the sea into dry land? Then you see that a great rock falls down into a valley, so that the path is blocked for guests travelling to attend the king's reception, and they are unable to pass. If someone should say to you, that exalted one will remove or dissolve the stone, however great it may be, with a single command, he will not leave his guest stranded. Would you then say that he will not remove the stone, or be unable to do so? Or if someone one day should gather together a great army, and you are then informed that he will summon its battalions together with a blast of a trumpet, after they had dispersed to rest, and the battalions will form up in disciplined shape, would you respond by saying, I don't believe it? Were you to say any of these things, your behaviour would truly be madness. If you have understood these three parables, now look further and see how the pre-eternal designer turns over in front of our eyes the white page of winter and opens the green pages of spring and summer. Then he inscribes on the page of the earth's surface, with the pen of power and destiny, in the most beautiful form, more than 300,000 species of creation. Not one encroaches upon another. He writes them all together, but none blocks the path of another. In their formation and shape, each is kept separate from the other without any confusion. There is no error in the writing. That wise and preserving one, who preserves and inserts the spirit of a great tree in the smallest seed, no bigger than a dot,